gentlemen, we made it. We made it to round 2 right here at Rocky Stucci Media. I appreciate each and every one of you. Do not forget, visit the website, RockyStucciShow.com, and of course, EmotionalMeatball.com. Man, we love you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. Very special episode. As you guys can see, we have the entire crew. We have the entire crew right here. I don't even know how they're making it. They're breathing it, but we have Alex, we have Tanner, we have Chelsea, and of course, we have Mr. Dakota from Project Fear right here on the program. What's going on, man? You guys okay? Doing okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us on here today.
I appreciate it. And I was just telling Chelsea before the show, I got to go up and visit mom and dad up in Lake Elmo, St. Paul area. And it's, down in Texas, we've been having this incredible demonic heat wave. It's incredible. It's over 100 degrees for like the last 4 or 5 weeks. And your soul literally starts pouring out of your pores. It's crazy. But to go home and to just sit around that campfire and to feel the briskness in the air at 68, 70 degrees and to smell the wood and the pine trees, it's amazing. We make moves. Like, you guys have done it. We make moves because we're following dreams. We're pursuing things. And it amazes me how much more when I go home, the things that I looked at and drove by every single day have become the most precious things to me, the parks and just the local areas, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, and all of you come from the same area, and this is where I want to go with this. I remember a long time ago, Dakota, you and I talked a long, long time ago, because I just got done watching an episode of you guys going into the Andy Wilder house. And brother, that was the first time I've ever been followed home by something, was when I went to the Andy Wilder house. It was insanely crazy, and I thought I was losing my mind. But that's how I met you guys. That's how I came across you guys, is you did I think it was a 3-part series. You went to the Andy Wilder house somewhere in Minneapolis, I believe, and then you went to the school in Iowa.
Yeah.
What was it, man? What was it? Because if I found that video on YouTube again, I'll probably watch it when you guys would do the spoof reels. What was it at such a young age? I mean, you guys had this inspiration, the videography, the videos, the cameras, the acting, the theatrical stuff, the humor. What is it that sparked it at such a young age to bring you guys and involve you to where you're at now?
Yeah, I mean, the paranormal stuff definitely came later. But the filmmaking thing, like, it's interesting. Like, we all just, Chelsea's included, like, we all just were fascinated with cameras at young ages. And I even remember being like 6 and seeing Chelsea playing on the TV, like something she had just recorded on the VHS camera. And I remember being mind blown. Like, you are watching yourself on TV right now? Like, that's so cool. And then she ended up like selling me that camera later. And that's what we ended up making all of our videos on. And so the paranormal thing was like weird because like we were diehard filmmakers, and then we started to have these encounters, and then we started to kind of be fascinated with it, but it was never on camera. Like we would go to creepy places and never film it. And that's kind of where that started. But like the passion and the love for filmmaking, really, it was just natural. Like we all just loved movies, and YouTube was around when we were at the age of like 12, 13, and we just went for it. And I'm so glad we did, though. That's like the best thing that we ever did, was love filmmaking first, because like once we got the show and once the show ended, if we didn't know these things we know, if we didn't have these skills, we'd be done. We would just be another cast members who lost a TV show. And because we did all the producing, the editing, the shooting, everything, we can make this move.
You know what's brilliant? While you were speaking, I thought about this too, because it is an important factor. When you think about everything you've all done at such a young age, the hardest thing I've always had with the paranormal, even when I went to different investigations or when I watch it, I still love watching it. It's crazy. It's like I can't wait for Friday nights just to put in something spooky. Where was I going with this? It's how do you sell it? That was always my thing. Even doing paranormal radio, I can't do it all the time. I can't talk about it all the time because to everybody it just becomes another ghost story, and I don't ever want it to become that. I don't ever want to desensitize people to the reality of it. And so, watching all of you do it and how you incorporated the sleeping, and now this season, I mean, you guys are stepping it up even more. I didn't think you could top last season. I'm just saying. But you guys are leveled up now, and so in order to do that, you need to sell the emotion that's involved with it to the viewer, and that is extremely difficult. So I think you're exactly right, Dakota, man. When you guys started out, that was probably the most important part of your journey, is just understanding film and the emotion in it.
And like a big part of the
I was just gonna say, like, coming from like the least experienced filmmaker out of the group would be myself. And I remember when we were filming season 1 of Destination Fear, I remember having like that conflict of, I want the viewer to be able to get the same feeling that I have, and like, what is the best way to do that? And it didn't help that my camera work was like all over the place, because when I got scared, that's what I did. And I think just even my small growth throughout the years in that department, like, it really is so important to try to capture the emotion that you're feeling, so then the people watching can feel that same thing.
I think the part that stuck out the most, Alex, when you caught that steel door, I think we talked about it on the last show. When you caught 99% of freaking people would probably crap their freaking pants and pass out, but somehow you were able to maintain and get that, man. It's, people don't understand what it took probably to do that.
No, I mean, that was a moment where in that moment, I think I blacked out, and my camera operating instincts just took over and steadied the shot so I could get it. Cause like, for me, it was just like, all right, no one's going to believe that this happened unless I get this on camera. Like, how many times have people said, oh, I saw a door open. A door open. I mean, it's like, well, that's a great story, but if you don't have it on camera, people are going to tend to not really believe you. They're just going to take you for your word, or just go, oh, okay, cool. Sounds really creepy. But yeah, that moment was like a very defining moment in my paranormal career for me.
No, Tanner, brother, you're a big dude. You're 6'3", 6'4". You know, I gotta say, I've been to a lot of investigations, and there's a lot of pressure because I'm not the protector when it comes to investigations, and for some reason, people automatically think, you know, just because I'm the taller dude of the bunch, that I'm automatically like gonna be in front of the line. I've seen you, brother, in some pretty serious situations in every single season, all the way up until what you're doing presently. You know, how do you overcome that? How do you overcome I'm sure people do gravitate towards you. I probably would. I'd probably say, yo, Dan, are you going to come and protect me because I'm a little emotional? You know?
Have you? Don't worry.
How do you do it psychologically, brother? Because, I mean, that's a lot of weight.
I mean, I think that's just, I don't know, growing up as, you know, a middle child of 2 other sisters, I've always been kind of a protective person. I've always wanted to make sure that my sisters are doing well and that they're okay.
Amen.
No boy trouble or anything like that. So I've always been kind of a little overprotective in that sense. And that's kind of just who I am. Like when it comes to fight or flight, I usually stand my ground and want to make sure that the people that I care about, the people that I love, the people that I'm with, feel protected as well. So there has been some times when we're in these buildings where we feel that someone's in there with us, not just like a spirit or a ghost or something, but we actually feel like some random person is lurking in the shadows. And, you know, I know that makes me feel uneasy, and I don't want anyone else to feel uneasy or not feel that they can feel free to walk around these buildings. And even in Project Fear, in a couple of weeks, we have, I won't give too much away, but we have an instance where something happens where, you know, all of us have to get together and be ready for whatever happens. And after that road trip, I got to be honest, it was the most I've ever felt like, oh man, I don't know if I'd be able to protect everyone in this instance. I might need to start working out. I need to have to go to the gym, start getting more in shape, because it gotten pretty intense.
Yeah, it's wild. And I was trying to explain a situation that I had to somebody at work, and I can't do it. I'm not good at it, because it's the emotion that goes with it. That's the hardest thing for me to sell. But I want to throw something out here real quick, because like I said, I've been following all of you since pretty much you guys went public on YouTube. And it's been an honor to watch the evolution, right? And through that process, you know, I kind of find myself kind of on, same path, but different journey type of thing. And I witnessed something that I haven't seen in this industry. And I've been in this industry 8-9 years. And one thing I'll say about this industry, and I'm very vocal about it, and I only speak for myself on this, is that, you know, folks understand that the higher you go in this industry, it sucks. I'm just going to tell you, man, it sucks. Okay. It's cutthroat, it's two-faced, it's bullshit, it's not fun. And everybody forgets they're wise on what they do. And I speak out vocally about it. But I watched all of you take a step, man. You know, people dictate their lives off of fear. And I watched all of you take a step of faith and of hope and the immense support you get from your fans, the loyalty you get, created that bravery. And when I watched you guys do your fundraiser, I sat back and I was like, this is something I've never seen before. In the years I've been in radio and now my affiliation with TV, I've never in my life. What was the feeling? What was the emotion when you felt that love and support from every single person that helped you guys and continued, just like myself, continue to support you?
I think
words for it.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, we were all expecting to have to chip into our first initial goal, and like, you know, we're like, it'd be great if we raised any money at all to help us out with this, but
right.
Everyone be prepared. If we're going to make this jump, like, you're going to probably empty your bank accounts for this, and then hopefully we can make it work. But the fans pulled through, and like, it really is. It's like, for us, it's so validating, because going through the network system and stuff and being on TV, like, they never gave us true numbers of like how many people were really supporting us. It was only what we could see through our social media. And so like, to see that, it was just like, wow, we have made an impact on a lot of people's lives, and they're showing their support to us now. So like, it's just really humbling.
Man, it's a beautiful Dakota, man. You know, you're kind of like the Godfather, you know, and brother, I mean, watching you come up. In fact, I'm thinking a t-shirt. I'm thinking a Godfather t-shirt. I'm just saying, you know, for the record.
I
how
mean,
does this make you feel, brother? This is your baby. You know, this is your creation, and it's evolved into a masterpiece, brother. How does it make you feel?
I mean, that's going kind of back to your last question too. Like, when we get the call that it's over, it's like, as the person who did create the concept and the idea and did the editing on it and literally created the entire thing, it was like one of those ideas where you get that call and it's like, there's not someone who can tell me I can't do this. Like, it's got to be me. Like, I need to be done with this when I'm ready. But like,
Good.
At that point, we all knew it's like, we're doing this. Like, we have the skills. Like, we're going to do this. And if this was a different, most TV shows are a production company has an idea, they cast a bunch of people together, shoot a pilot, it gets picked up, and then they run it, and then it ends. And then when the show ends, the production company ends, and whatever, they go their own ways. But this was such a rare case where we created the show. When the show happened, there was nothing that needed to be added except small things the network needed to add. And like, even the production company, like, they hit gold with this because they had to do no work. They acquired a sizzle reel and sold it. They did nothing. And so, I don't know, for us, that was kind of the thing, is like, I can't wake up tomorrow and just let them say you're done. And especially when it's my idea, where it did not feel right to be done. And then when we go to these conventions and you have thousands of people who tell us how this is our one show that we watch with our daughter, she's 14 and we can't connect with her, but this is the show that helps us connect. It's like, I'm not going to be done doing that. Like, one day we will all be ready to be done with this, but like, we were like, I felt like when season 4 came out, we all were like, dang, this is the peak. Like, this is our best season. We did so good. Like, we finally feel super comfortable on camera, and then we get canceled. So we're like, all right, well, this is actually just the start. Like, this will just be a new beginning.
Blessing, blessing. It was actually happy for me to see that, because I've just seen so many careers just get destroyed because it got caught up, you know. So what's the vision? What's the vision? You know, I mean, you guys, you know, every time I watch an episode, you know, it's another challenge that, you know, you guys got to top. Now, last episode I watched, Chelsea, I don't know, man. I'm just totally straight, honest talk. I went to the Hill House in Mineral Wells, and I think you've all been to Mineral Wells. I couldn't go upstairs by myself. Literally, there was 15 people downstairs, 40 feet away from me. I couldn't go upstairs by myself. You guys are going into these isolated areas on prisons in different buildings where it's going to take somebody some time. You know, some time, and 30 seconds is a long time when you feel like you're going to die. What was it like being handcuffed, you know, and then having to sit there like that?
Oh my gosh, you know, it's one of those things. Just, oh my gosh, Well, first of all, I think the funny part about it was that like Tanner generated this anonymous poll, and it ended up being that the fans actually chose me without knowing, which was kind of a funny silver lining there. Just if there's anything positive of it, I thought that was kind of funny. But actually being in a location handcuffed to a very heavy door, like these are doors of a prison too. It's not like I'm just getting handcuffed to like the bedroom door in your house. This is a prison door. And like as soon as they left, I'm like messing with it, seeing if like if something happened, could I get out of this? And I think the moment when I realized that there was absolutely no way that I could get out, I was just immediately it was weird because I would think I was the most quiet I've ever been, but I think it's because I was trying to like take in the surroundings, and it was a really uncomfortable.
Do you guys with like prisons, we all know what goes on. So, and even in the spiritual side, do you guys, with Chelsea being handcuffed, or when you guys go and you guys separate, there has to be a certain level that just naturally, like Dakota, just naturally your sister, right? Just like Alex and Tanner. I mean, you guys are family. You guys are basically family. So is there that little sister protection thing you guys have going on? There's that extra sense of protection just because?
There definitely is. There always is. But like season 1, it would have been way more apparent, where it was like, yeah, I'm going to protect Chelsea. But once you go through 5 seasons of like, because like the episode prior, Chelsea locked me in a body cooler for the entire night. And so like when
we're
Tanner,
not talking about that.
I know, but like I brought it up even in the episode because I'm like, normally maybe I'd fight this, but last episode you did this. So I feel like that's what happens all the time with this, where we always feel bad and we know the risk, we know it's dangerous, we know there's going to be thousands of people. Like Tanner, the night we did this, he's like, people are going to hate me. But that's just the risk. That's what happens. Even Chelsea with the body cooler, like she's like, people are going to hate me. But that is like I think that's one thing people worry about is like, you guys aren't being cautious or concerned enough. And it's like, no, we are always, that is we know what's going on. And like, we do.
Well,
like, yeah.
On top of that, like, I mean, like, even in the episode, you see Dakota go check in on Chelsea to make sure she's okay. No call, no nothing. Just wanted to make sure. I mean, Alex and I, like, we were farther away from Chelsea, and so we were trying to walkie Chelsea. There was no connection. Then we'd walkie like Dakota and be like, "Hey, have you checked in on Chelsea? How's she doing?" He'd be like, "Oh yeah, I did. Like, she's doing all right." Blah blah. So like, that part definitely gets cut from the video. I mean, we're all best friends. We all care about each other. We don't want anyone to get hurt. Yes, do we like to slightly torture ourselves by getting a little bit more scared and putting ourselves in hard situations? Yes. But at the end of the day, we want everyone to feel safe and feel that they can get out. So we definitely are in, but
we need better walkies.
We do need better walkies. 100%.
What's the deal? There's another thing is what goes on with you guys with the walkies. Literally, I'll be watching at home and the hair on my arms just stand up with some of the sound, like the screaming when you guys were getting your voice. That was effing believable. It's crazy. What goes through your body when you hear that?
Oh my gosh.
Just straight chills every time.
Are you referring to when we had the was that Sweet Springs when we heard our own screams?
Yes,
that
on the
part?
spirit box, and then Chelsea through the spirit box.
Oh my
that was
gosh.
Crazy. That was crazy.
I think that's the first time I ever jumped into somebody's lap. I actually jumped into Alex's lap. I'm like, oh my gosh. Weird.
I probably would have done it too, though. I probably would have done it too, because that's stuff that we're not used to. It's like the first time you maybe see poltergeist, or the first time you see a shadow person. You're out to look for it and you're out to get it, but when you actually see it, you still kind of freak out because you kind of didn't expect to see it. It's weird. So, man, I don't know. I don't know. The whole radio thing, it was so mind blowing to me. And then it was the phone ringing, or the message that you guys got on the phone. The whole technology thing is just blowing my mind. And here's the humbling thing that I like about the whole paranormal field is we're starting to see a lot new types of science that actually can validate all the crazy experiences that you guys go through. I have one last question, and then we'll let you guys go. Any of you have been followed home? Any of you have any type of repercussions after any investigations?
Personally, when we were on a road trip for Destination Fear, I had first ever like night terror where I woke up in my room and I thought I was in my room, but there was someone standing at the end of the bed, just a shadowy figure of a woman standing over me, and I couldn't move. And I was trying to scream, but I couldn't. And then I woke up and I was back on the road. And it was like the trippiest, weirdest experience that I've had with that kind of stuff. But following us home.
Yeah. We had this one instance when we came back from a road trip, and Dakota has just opened up all of the files and all the footage and has put it on his computer. He's about to edit everything. And, you know, later that night we get together. We're all just hanging out in the living room.
Right here.
Yeah, right here. We start watching a movie. And all of a sudden we just hear a dush, dush. And we're just like, what was that? All of us, without like saying anything, we all get up. We walk into Dakota's room where he has all of his editing stuff, his computer, his stuff, everything. And we notice that his keyboard is on the ground, his mouse is on the ground, the microphone is, and it's just like one of those things where you go, how did that all happen? There's no way every single one of those things was sitting on the edge of the table. There's it just, for some reason or another, Dakota decides to start editing the new road trip and uploading all the footage. His computer stuff just falls.
Did you see that glitch too while Tanner was talking?
I know.
So weird.
I'm just
I
saying.
was just about to say something like that. Like, I feel like in general, I am like the friend out of my friend group who's like the ghost girl. And like, I feel like there's always just something weird, unexplained that happens. That's just like, oh, Chelsea, like you need to leave for a second. Like, this is like crazy, like weird light things and radios. And it's always like, they're like, that's never happened to me before. But now that you're here, I'm like, I feel like there could definitely be something to this.
It's weird though, because I found that the more that I opened up through my process, I noticed so much more around me every day. I was more blind to it before I was conscious of it. You know what I mean? And I think we're just surrounded by it all the time. We're just not paying attention. So I know it's a media day for all of you. I know you're extremely busy. Man, I just thank you, man. I thank you so much for the memories. You mentioned about the memories, right? And about the fans and the loyalty. I got to tell you, I'm one of those people. I'm not one of those guys, right? But I'll tell you, I got so many stories where I got together with my three sons, Rocky, Mario, and Dominic, and Lisa, and we all sat down and watched your guys' programs. And me and my oldest son, Rocky, who's 21 years old, every time there's a new upload, he comes and tells me, and we go downstairs and we watch it. So the values that you give families connections, because we're kind of losing that in our society, and to be able to sit down and watch these programs and for you to bring your family into it, and the energy and the fun that you have before the investigations, it makes it personal, and we feel like we're part of you and you're part of us. So on behalf of myself and so many other people, man, I mean, huge hats off. And you know, you got friends, you know, we got you covered. Okay.
Oh, dude, that's like the biggest awakening we've had all year, is just like we feel more than ever this huge support, this backing, and we're never going to do anything to make anyone mad, but we know that when we make steps forward that we have the support, and that's all someone like us could ask for.
Man, I tell you, there's been many times where I'm sure you can attest to this. There's many times I laid in bed at night just saying, what the hell am I doing? And then there's that one message from a listener or one message from a viewer, and you're like, that's what I'm doing. And that's why I'm doing. So
it's the things like you just said, like the families. We were at a convention and a girl, her mother came up to us when she wasn't looking, and she was crying, and she's just like, my daughter's 13 and like we just have no connection, and this show brought us together. And she's like crying in front of us, and literally like we all go back to the hotel after those experiences, and we talk about that for hours. And like, that is why we're doing this. We all grew up with big families, and we all watch shows with our families, and to be that show is like a dream come true.
Amen, man. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys will come back again when you got the
we will.
availability, and we can sit and chat and get super deep on thoughts and spiritual and existence and all that other stuff. But keep up the amazing work. Let them know. Let everybody know, where do you want everybody to go? Because you guys got merchandise, you got clothing, you got the YouTube channel, which is killing it. Everything will be linked in here, but let everybody know where they can catch you.
I'll start with the YouTube. The YouTube is Project Fear or Fear Project. Search those 2 words on YouTube, you'll find us. But if you do, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell, because that'll alert you when there's new videos and you'll get notified.
Yeah. And we have 2 other things. One is, the Fear Gear. We got awesome merch. New stuff is going to be dropping September 1st. And we're so jacked for this new launch. It's our favorite launch yet. And the FearGear.shop. And then a great way to support us and also just get some awesome behind the scenes, exclusive content, podcast stuff. I mean, we have over 10 hours of extra stuff right now on the FearClub.com. It's just a nice little place where all of us hang out, talk with all of our fans, and just kind of chill. So,
What's that? The FearClub.com?
The FearClub.com.
The FearClub.com. I'm going to make sure everything is linked on RockyStucciShow.com and on EmotionalMeatball.com and get this everywhere I can. And I'll continue to show my love and support any way I can. So thank you guys so much for coming on the program. Stick around just for 1 second. Folks, thank you. I love you all so much. Thanks for hanging out with us on this program. I am the Emotional Meatball, Rocky Stucci. Until next time, never forget rule number 1. Don't take shit from nobody. Good night, everybody.
Love that.